afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane, Master of Propaganda. We're off here to an exciting 2 versus 2 on Gelsenkirchen Refinery. Yes, indeed. Another fight straight here from the British live trial. A 2 versus 2 hit between, in the south, Devilsbrigade and Burmie fighting here for the 7th Armoured Division, the Desert Rats, rolling out to deal with the Hun. And they've got more or less the same doctrines: Commander Regiment, Royal Artillery and Royal Engineer versus in the north. We got Morserkarl and Schwerergustav fighting for Germany here, for the Reich for the 12th SS Panzerdivision Hitler Jugend. With no bullets here, but infantry, anti-tank and machine gun bullets here, pretty much the exact same here for the British as well. We've got Breakthrough, Luftwaffe, Special Operations, Blitzkrieg, Jägerarme and Mobile Defense there for the Germans. We got lots of infantry sections there arriving for Burmie, for Mr. Devil's Brigade. It's also infantry section followed with Vickers, so both going for the same there. For the Germans, it's lots of Full Grenadiers for Schwerergustav, Morserkarl going for Grenadiers, Pioneers, and an MG42. Come on, Dieter, pick up the pace. It can't be right. I'm the guy carrying the bloody tripod and the MG42, and your guys are lagging behind. And by the way, they would have, one would have carried the tripod, another the MG42, and so on and so on. Forces moving up here, advancing through the terrain. Bit of work there. And we got trenches up here, by the way, for the British. They cannot be taken by the enemy. They also a bit cost manpower, unlike the German trenches. And I think they also give some slight bonuses to troops inside them, I believe. Bit cheeky though, bit cheeky. Not entirely sure I'm a particular fan of that. I don't like trenches that can just be built and not be taken. Seems a bit, 9 Heinz, we can't take it. Look, it says reserved for Tommy. And don't be rude, this is a German army. We'd never be rude. Anyways, Sergeant Lipton orders the unit back there, more infantry moving up here, bit of a standoff here. Right side, we've not got much of the Germans here on the right side, are advancing a lot more cautiously through the refineries there. Also, a fun fact about the German fuel situation: they actually relied a lot on also synthetic fuel, which they then produced themselves. They weren't just relying on fuel from outside. The synthetic fuel refineries also got bombed up quite a bit. But little fun fact there. We also got early cool one here for Schwerergustav. Shield here as well. We got sandbags, we got trenches. Vickers set up already. Further finding, we got the Vickers set up. So far, the British sort of focus centre west. There's not so much action on the right hand side. Interesting enough, the Germans are not going there. The Bigs are going west centre as well, and ultimately crashing into the sort of more prepared lines here of the British, who can sort of initially have a more greater defensive advantage thanks to sandbags, trenches, and the likes here. Good use of trenches, by the way. Grenadiers there holding up inside the building, but they're already pinned down. So they're going to have to take some time before they can actually shoot back. Even if they get into a building, troops that are pinned and suppressed, there will still be a bit of it. Got a sniper, second M40 running from Morserkarl. We got Schwerergustav advancing here, centrewards. Burmie is, I think, being a bit too passive. I mean, he's not really having towards the east, or the centre, or the west. He's basically sort of pulled down a lot of units, which are basically sipping tea. Whereas the Germans are taking a bit more of an active approach to this. Also noting the centre, while nice, it's not exactly strategically vital, say, compared to fuel, and for example, denying the fuel to the Germans there. Oh dear, the Grenadiers are back close to getting up. Got a sniper moving up, bit risky position. Vickers falling a bit back there, water cooled. And an MG42 opening up here. And battle group headquarters up here for Mr. Schwerergustav already. Storm Pioneers advancing here on the block, I guess. We'll call that. And they're going to falling back here after the encounter with the Sturm Pioneers from their Sturmgewehrs. M42 dueling out with the Vickers, sniper also spotting as well. The Vickers here could end up being forced up pretty quickly. The Germans rather nasty approach. There we go. Bob and Harry rather have been killed.
This is it.
So the Germans make decent progress on the right hand side. On the west, they basically managed to stall the British, but that's about it really. The British here, we got take up here for Devil's Brigade. Sappers are on the way, and we also got take up here for Burmie. Also going for sappers. Certainly quite happy about their sappers, not a bad choice. We've got a light infantry gone on the way already for Schwerergustav. Ready to deal with any dark-in Britisher.
Enemy threatening a capture
some
point.
poor sort, they're just poked his head a bit too far there, got cut down by a sniper. Take up here for Morserkarl, who's getting another grenadier squad. And Fulks is holding up in the old factory hall. I don't know what to exactly call that. Seems like at the moment Schwerergustav though is being a bit cautious. He's not rushing too far ahead. He's basically got the Kuhwagen watching over here. Fulks is moving up, and we got a fort and retreat point going up there. So far the British, while making some decent progress, again rather lost steam very quickly due to the fact that Burmie, for some reason, again just basically sort of doubled down on the centre, which again isn't bad, but I mean initially I don't think you're getting so much out of it. We also got a quick choice here of doctrine for Burmie. It is the Royal Artillery Regiment, opening up for quite a bit of, well, artillery. And not just the motor pit, which actually isn't dependent on doctrine. We've got early warning, fires flares, you got the concentration barrage, which allows you to use the artillery bits here more regularly, with, well, more specifically, without having to sort of upgrade a unit for a smoke flare, so that gives you a bit of choice there. Observation detachment Valentines, Sexton's artillery pieces there, and we even got the perimeter overwatch. Fulks was holding up, their Kuhwagen moving, got Sturmpanies holding up. And another assault here, but quickly encountering an MD-42. Both upgraded by the way to be with medical supplies, but the MD-42 doesn't care about that. Not one bit. So no doctor for the brigade, but there we go. We got mortars. In fact, we got double mortars here in the centre of the refinery, or southern centre. They sort of use this area to sort of create a rather vicious mortar battery, and he's even sort of adding to it because if you sort of pop a unit inside the mortar emplacement, it can fire faster. In that sense, British emplacements do have that little bonus. It's actually just sort of go. Burmie, oh, Devilsbrigade actually, you cheeky bastards. Now they're taking a hit, does survive the encounter with the 3-inch mortars. That is certainly a stout artillery base here for the British troops. Forced out there of the trench infantry gun they're finding. He's getting a second infantry gun. So the Germans are looking to actually duel it out with the British in terms of artillery. That is rather courageous. Considering that certainly the war wouldn't have had the same quite amount of artillery supplies and the likes. Still making these progress on the west side. Devilsbrigade is essentially formed back, giving I think Burmie perhaps the order there to sort of move towards the east and push towards there. Plus the squad wiped out, a harsh loss there for Schwerergustav in their mark. And they can just sort of look at there. God damn it! They're on the other side, but we can't shoot them. Yeah, if only we could crawl under pipe. We can only jump. Führer has explicitly forbidden us to crawl. He does not wish the German uniform to be soiled. Even in Germany. There we go, Grenadiers wiped out by a quick nose bomb there from Devilsbrigade. Bringing up in this hole, opening up in the MD-42, forcing it back, and of course all their mortars are basically just hammering away at anything that looks remotely German. Holding up position here for some of the pantry, got Kugelwagen joining in. Infantry guns slowly advancing, providing a bit of light artillery support there for the Germans. I do believe Mr. Morserkarl has got no artillery of his own. He could consider actually taking up. He's got resources for it, so it wouldn't be a bad idea. For the British, no tech up here as of yet. Well, we got one sniper here moving about with his boys' AT rifle. And again, I do find it a bit odd. They do pour so much, effort into the centre where the fuel isn't. And it's not that strong a position. It's not really that dominating. I mean, it helps them keep the victory point, but you got to remember there's 2 other points plus a lot of other points on a map. So there might be a bit of too much over-focus there. I mean, again, you could consider this fair, but the problem is, it's too narrow to really operate from. And most a single mortar emplacement would be better. So I do think at this point they're basically pouring too much into here when they should be sort of more aggressive or at least defensive elsewhere. We've even got a Bofors up here, that's pretty quick. The Bofors, a Swedish anti-aircraft gun, which was used actually on both sides, though primarily the Allies, but some of the Axes actually used, I believe, the Romanians, Hungarians, and the Finnish. There was even a anti-aircraft tank based on the Bofors, which the Romanian and Hungarians used. The Hungarians, though, had this slight variation on it, which they ended up calling the Nimrod, but very fun fact there, very fun fact. The Hungarians tend to sort of get ignored alongside the Romanians. They're sure their infantry can take up positions here. Sturmpanies under fire. Kuhwagen holding up, supporting. Good offensive here. Looks like, though, partly due to Morserkarl falling back, deciding that's not quite worth the effort. Now it's actually moving towards the centre to support Schwerergustav. That's actually good. I mean, teamwork in a team game is rather obvious, but not sometimes you do tend to get. Oh no! Light machine gun dropped. Now in the hands of the Tommies. Pack 48 covering, but not quite enough there. Insects pressed here by the MD-42 veterans, 222. And there you go, artillery fire raining down here on the snipers, infantry and whatnot. Really strong position here from Burmie, though at the same time also a bit bunched up, which could give the infantry guns a bit of a good chance of murdering them. Schwerergustav calls up, Obersan following up. No, oh, we got take up there from Morserkarl. Middle armor would be good. Sniper moving up, infantry a bit of trouble. I am becoming a legend, yeah. Veterans 1, I do believe he might actually, there we go, tag up has happened for Devilsbrigade. So you can for instance say Centaurs or Cromwells already now. Including the sake of the game, I think the Centaur right now we're actually quite good. The Centaur is quite mean at dealing with infantry. Let's just put it like that. One infantry gun actually got cleared out. Small loss there, the Germans on the roads. British certainly seem to be offensive again. Mines going down there. Good, good. They seem to sort of realise, you know, this only gets them so far. You could actually use it all to push forward here. I mean, lay down this creeping smoke barrage here and then sort of push through there. That can actually cause a lot of damage if they could sort of get through here. Get behind the German positions there. Turnover moving up. And there we go. We got a artillery going in here from Burmie. The note he's only got one gun available here. The other one hasn't been made available. So still using it to bombard here. Good job. Job a bit expensive, but it's generally still cheaper than most other artillery barrages. Then again, it does use your actual artillery barrage. I mean, depending on how many you got, I mean, mileage will vary how much you get out of it. Morserkarl seems to have gone slightly on the defense, really sort of trying to build up force before making another strike. We have seen no Supreme Corps there. For the Oberkommando West, we got the Obersoldaten arriving there, some of the more veteran troops of the 12th SS Hitlerjugend, so named because the troops arrived from the Hitlerjugend more or less after they've been there more or less exclusively. Those more progressed. I'm sure that would have been harder to some extent. It wasn't because of some people, it was just filled up with kids, not quite though. I mean, occasionally would have been, since they were basically still be put in from around 17, then sort of trained up, and of course then be pushed into fighting. But still, little fun details there. Obersan moving up there, sniper could take out a few there. M6 moving up, we got here a forward assembly. An interesting British building there which serves as a fort reinforcement point, but which, unlike any other, also has weapon racks in it. So if you got those, you can really get something out of it. So, fun facts there. Vickers left in the middle of the bloody road. Got a slow approach here from the Germans, going to be SMG-42s. Infantry sections with MD-42s and sappers, and another mortar emplacement, plus a Vickers in it. I mean, this is, you know, quite a defensive position with a lot of firepower, but of course, a good hit there could knock it out. Still, not bad, really. It's only going to make it difficult here for the Jerrys to advance and grab the fuel pond. There go, wipe another light machine gun handed over to the British forces. Vickers there, it's taken back by some sappers. They're losing most of their comrades in the process. Factory wants to occupy, still piling some more back. Flak pants away from Morserkarl with all the infantry about, not a bad idea. We've got a few shots here from the Bofors, which can also benefit. I mean, all of the British in place basically have a bonus ability if you occupy them. For example, this one is a suppressive barrage, which basically allows sort of suppressive artillery, I guess, is how you describe it. Oh, MD-42 cleared out here. The heavy mortar emplacement here with the Vickers in it is giving the Germans quite the headache here, and so far, I mean, Morserkarl is just sort of running into it. But getting a streak on the heels here on the flak panzer, good. Position here being held decently. The Bofors certainly ensuring not infantry can't follow up there. And he's got an upgrade here already. He's got the Anvil specialization. He's got heavy engineers here, which build faster, repair faster, but also get access to a Vickers K. Fun stuff there. And he got Dogs and Devilsbrigade. It is Royal Regiment, or Royal Engineer Regiment specifically. In the and there we go, flak panzer the assault there, outflanking the anti-tank gun, not enough to support there. Mines still are there, but at this point it might already be too late here. Vickers saying about dealing with the Pioneers, but won't be able to deal with the flak panzer once the anti-tank has cleared out the 6-pounder gun. Nice executed here by Morserkarl, nicely done here. There we go. Emplacement in a bit of trouble. The other emplacement, of course, can bombard, but they can't really hurt the flak panzer. There we go, Pack 40 joining in, there we go. Trying to sort of repair and get out of there. Well, not specifically, it's just locking down, sort of breaks. Oh dear. Here the Germans can actually grab the mortar emplacement and turn it against the British if they wanted. I don't think it'll last long. Further engagement here. Germans move forward, but here we go. Sort of British troops resisting. We got Vickers of several kinds, including the Vickers K. Sappers, troops here. Heavy fighting. 40% though is making it difficult for the Germans to push that. Needs some kind of shock effect here. Orbital down there, of course, might provide enough firepower to deal it, but it's going to be tricky here. Infantry guns also bombarding. We got more troops going in here. Severe engagement. Very intense fighting here. No attempt to say flanking the other bastard going through there. I think actually we move to Schwerergustav, move up from here, get behind the British, clear them out that way. Still trying to attack head on. And we got artillery in return. There we go, silencing both our infantry guns here, using the concentration barrage. Good work there by Burmie, good response. And from Devilsbrigade we got stand fast, which basically means they'll be repaired automatically while it's active, basically, meaning you don't have to worry about repairing emplacements. They'll doesn't have a lot there, but we got a Cromwell out here for Devilsbrigade. Cromwell Mark IV cruiser tank. But the British armoured doctrine, we sort of operate with cruisers, light tanks, and infantry tanks. But right here, a bit of a nice situation there. Cruiser doing a lot of damage. Got a Pack 40 though opening up, doing some damage here. Cromwell there down to half health already. At this point, he's actually trying to draw him into the mines. They're not bad. We've got Piet sappers and Bren gun carrying infantry sections. And the centre again, where the British really sort of poured all the resources. Isn't really seeing much action at the moment. Bit silly. Still the line here held for the time being. Infantry guns recruited but not repaired, which means they could be cleared out if he's not careful and will basically wrecked. Also got access here to the designate command vehicle ability now for Devilsbrigade. And oh dear, we got a Churchill tank out here for Burmie. Churchill tank.
The ability is ready for use.
Schwerergustav is not Churchill, we got Morserkarl, we got Blitzkrieg though. Still firing down here, Churchill moving ahead there with its 75mm gun. And its very thick frontal armour. The Churchill was, by the way, an infantry tank, meant to support an infantry advance, push through the lines, and then afterwards the doctrine basically sort of stated cruiser tanks were to sort of follow up on the breakthrough and do damage. So, yeah, fun stuff there. There you go, Churchill on the move, blasting through the lines, and at the moment the Germans don't have a lot to stop. There's a Stuke all over here. We got Kednev, I think, and such. We got the Lux here. The Lux is definitely not going to do anything versus the Churchill. I think at this point, Schwerergustav's hope might be to either get a Panther Bot here from here, or get a Command Panther. Oh wait, doing some damage to the Kednev versus the Churchill. Artillery raining down here again. He's quick to call in concentration batteries wherever needed. And now, of course, with the added bonus of the ability, which again is part of the specialization, it also passes airburst rounds. Holy moly! Sorry about that. There's a slight bug there that seems to sort of here and there. Basically, what happened there was airburst rounds. Not, by the way, something only the British use. The Germans were also known for using them, but either way. And I'll just briefly explain this. You've got an anvil specialization. You get airburst shells when you basically this artillery fires and they're saying any infantry nearby has a chance of using it. So they'll find fact. The main gun destroyed on the Churchill. Stuke is on the hunt here, but also heavily damaged. Looks like at this point Morserkarl's courage slips up. He doesn't want to risk losing it, not at even if it means getting the Churchill tank there knocked out of the war. So that one is quickly getting out of there. That heavily armoured thing. Germans turning a bit on the back foot. The artillery is certainly making it harder for them to move about. And now, of course, the Churchill is certainly also going to require a lot more firepower to deal with. They even managed to steal away a kitten effort, not bad. And we've got a Sexton here. With its 25-pounder gun, you can basically consider it a cheaper and lighter priest. Since basically it's, I think it's an 87.6mm gun it's firing at, but it got access to regular barrages, creeping barrages. If you combine it with the Valentine, you can even shoot the barrages more regularly. Since then, the Valentine tank, after turn point, can actually call in Sexton artillery fire as well. Another coordination barrage. No, by the way, that does not draw in the Sexton, it's only the headquarters howitzers. We're still gaining the fuel point there. Tap seals have been made, MD42 Pack 40 covering up there. And the British have gone for the anvil specialization, which opens up for gammon bombs, amongst other things. Track vehicle, which is a neat ability, emergency war speed, and the Comet tank. Kinda hope we get to see that one. Austrian Pioneers P at their drop, by the way. Still trying up their Sturmgeschütz 3 Ausbildung G, most produced armoured fighting vehicle in the German army. Though Panzer IV was a quick second, a close second. Followed up with a few thousands less, the Panther. Panzer IV moving out. Clearing out the trench here. In progress, mortar emplacement firing, trying to silence. And mortar fire here. We got the Sexton moving in, though rather close to the front line. Looks moving in straight into the Churchill. Veterans one getting there, by the way. Which gives a few other villages there to go. We actually got people shooting out at the bloody tank now. Didn't really expect to do that with the Churchill, but there you go. Which relates to just out some details, but there you go. It basically means it's got machine guns not just in the front but also on the sides. Meaning you can actually get quite a few machine guns out. Deal with infantry. Also, it has a fun ability of infantry support, but basically sort of pours out smoke behind, allowing it to cover up in advance, for example. Plus, grenades can be lobbed out of the tank. They're good dealing here with the Schwerpanzer quarters, Pack 40 shots bouncing off. And we've got here perimeter overwatch. Good lord. Basically fires the artillery all across the front. And we got German armour, both mines hit there. Stug almost immobilised. Ostman as well, mines hit there, the Pioneers. Oh no, Achtelieber. Terrible day there for the Germans. Schwerpanzer force knocked out. The assault continues out. We've got a Gammon bomb off. Gammon bomb. And the Gammon bomb basically being a sort of grenade, where you can sort of, determine, or decide how much, what and what to be. If it's right into grenade, you can sort of put in a bit of a first explosive bomb to knock out buildings or a tank to touch. You could pop in a lot. It was basically, a choose your own explosion sort of type grenade. I believe it was mostly used by commandos though. Yeah, fun little invention there by the British. And there goes artillery down. Osman knocked out. The Howard is just firing away. The British holding out in the trench, just spotting away. We got the command tank here as well. Might be able to cut it off there. Just showing the overwatch here. Won't shoot there. Enter Tango moving up. Heavy action on the west. Heavy action on the east. Churchill falling back. We got the command Panther out though here for Schwerergustav. The third Panzerkampfwagen. All fire here. Stug! Is it getting out of there? Is it getting out of there? Despite having an engine, they might as well not be there. No, it looks like it won't happen yet. Anti-tank guns. And we got a Comet on the way here for Devilsbrigade. We got the Comet on the way. Meanwhile, it looks supporting the Panther continues up, but Schwerergustav's got barely any infantry left. He's taking an absolute brutal beating here. But says Morserkarl. Oh, he lost his Duke. Both Germans here have been to some extent crippled. Burmie is rather strong here. No, to some extent he's also got a lot of resource investments in placements. He's also got a veterancy too now. On the Churchill, we also got the Sexton firing away. We got infantry, including the assault sappers here, essentially, or heavy engineers. It's certainly looking a bit glum here for the Germans. There we go, the Luftwaffe strikes. Kanonenvogel sets about there with its 37mm cannons. And the British pushing forward here, but at the same time, the one thing is notable. The Germans haven't really lost any territory to this. And that's something the British need to be aware of. I mean, they can't just keep pushing if they don't actually gain any territory. At some point, it's going to fizzle out. And also, nice combination of mechanized regiment and the vehicle repair facility, allowing them to quickly get anything repaired there. And another Sturmgeschütz. Wolf was just hammering away there at the aircraft. There we go. I think something got shot down. There we go. Two people of the Luftwaffe sort of crashed down there. Nasty stuff. Almost done moving up there. Infantry sections firing back desperately. Brickworks here getting slowly shattered. And there we go, we got the Comet. The cruiser tank after the Cromwell had a 77mm gun and much thicker armour. Fun fact though, the 77mm gun was basically a shortened 17-pounder gun. It It was called 77mm to ensure there weren't any sort of confusion with 17-pounder gun ammo, since there were differences. In particular, it had some modified high explosive rounds which did pack a bit more punch, but no, fun fact. Anyways, good hit there in the looks, charging through there. Also can actually to fire smoke, but once it hits in one, it becomes replaced with white phosphorus, which can really be nasty towards infantry. You can also use space to start a vehicle if you will. There you go, Comet moving in against the Panther. And we got coordinated fire there from the Command Panther, forcibly coming back. We got a Valentine moving up here, plus the Churchill, so much armor right here. And we got artillery raining down here on the battlefield headquarters, well, knocking it out. German infantry getting slaughtered. Schwerergustav is getting absolutely punished here by Burmie's assault. And we got Stuka flanking, but the Stuka's getting flanked by the Comet. It's getting absolutely torn to bits. Oh dear. Well, the west side is actually surprisingly open. They could try and push through here. The Germans are right now not looking good here for the Reich. He got another Sturmgeschütz in the way. Thankfully for Schwerergustav, he's still got his command tank and his Lukes, and I suppose some Obersoldaten, but he's looking pretty grim. And we got the command tanks basically going on a rampage here, while the major armoured push going on. He's just dismantling Devilsbrigade and Burmie's defences. Very nice execute here, but we've already got the Comet moving in here for the kill. And another strike here from the Luftwaffe, trying to save here the Befehlspanzer. There we go. Oh, right from the pack 40. Can he get it? Can he get it? Oh, my God. Again, sorry about that. Slight sound bug there.
Let's get to work.
Will the Bofors get another brave Luftwaffe pilot? No, looks like he will survive. Oh, it's really nice details here. Some sort of how the map was done. British armour falling back. The loss of the Comet, though, is going to hurt the British, though I think Devilsbrigade can quickly replace it if he wants to. And now we're just seeing Morserkarl throwing out several Panzer Grenadiers at this problem. In hopes of solving it. There you go, Luke striking at the infantry, Stuke following up support here. They're pulling together whatever armoured resources they have at the moment, it seems. Panther getting repaired, Veterans U1 closing in Veteran 2. That certainly benefit them quite a bit if you get it armoured up a bit. You got more artillery here raining in. Somewhere. Trying to catch here. Realising this is where all the armour goes to get repaired. All the pioneers massacred, just splattered across the tank. Dude, I don't think this is paintwork. Fuel caches going out for the British, good. More mines could also be good, in fact is good. Defence is sort of more properly positioned, would be better. West side again, very open. They've got an anti-tank in some sections and a MG42. They could also grab that one to further augment things. What is he doing with the section though? That's weird. Meanwhile, we've got a large armoured assault here. Panther, Lux, Panther, basically putting all the resources together, hoping to catch some of the British forces a bit unawares. They're not quite concentrated. It seems to actually be working here. There's not quite as much here, they're a bit spread out. The defences can't quite resist this. Is he trying to sort of knock out the fuel cache from 3? No, section, that seems a bit odd. Anyways, assault continues here. Church being pushed back, closing in Veteran 3 though. Sappers, infantry doing the best of the delay, but they've already suffered heavy losses. Stu continues to push there. Bofors firing away. They're not quite equipped to sort of deal with the Sturmgeschütz, Panthers, and Befehlspanzers. You got Sappers moving up there with the Piats. A spring-loaded anti-tank weapon, rather a bit unique that. Misses though, horribly. Churchill moving in again, there you go, Bofors got cleared out. There you go, veterans are on the stool, target feet, point heat round fire, can he go through? There we go, stuns it, might just be able to get Churchill, might just. There we go, cooked up. Plump Christmas goose. And Stu got knocked out here, Command Panther managed to escape, but another loss there for the Wehrmacht. Centre viewpoint being secured with all the folks on the sides now. They can finally move up the centre after all the hills has been cleared out. So that's the Germans have sort of figured out perhaps how to sort of dismantle the British defences, because they're sort of to some extent too focused, which basically means they sort of hit here and there and sort of slowly dismantle it. And there we go. Devilsbrigade, though, does not go for another Comet. He's going for the Firefly.
Ready to give someone a bloody nose.
Fair enough. Would have figured another Comet, but no. And we also got the Tulip there. And we, oh good lord, with all this going on, I haven't even noticed Schwerergustav saved up for King Tiger and gotten it. It looks like an SS Schwerpanzerabteilung has been sent to support the 12th. A King Tiger and a Command Panther, a bit of a rarer side, I would say. Orbis only holding up against a section. Negative cover though, that's definitely good news for the Orbis Soldaten. Though the Bren guns are doing cover down to alongside the Vickers. But the King Tiger should turn that around. Valentine moving up there, and there you go, shoots, but there you go, one hit. We fire the rockets as well. Yes! And there we go, King Tiger down to half health already. Anti-tank firing in. King Tiger going to have to pull back already. That's just thanks to one Firefly and an anti-tank gun. Gonna do the flanking in. Close to getting the anti-tank gun, but not quite. Fighting over the centre. Panzer goes forced away here. By the sappers with the light infantry. Oh, the light machine gun. Nasty stuff there.
Crew, get ready.
Camouflage mode on the looks. King Tiger being repaired here. Pioneers pulling up as many as they can find. And Orb's been basically doing the way on the right flank. I mean, in that sense, the West is now actually very lightly defended by the British, which is certainly only to the aid of the Germans, who are just again moving in a single Austrian. They can basically call the entire West flank to collapse like a paper bag in the rain. And we've got artillery flares going in here, sort of spot out, reconnaissance and so on.
Enemy causing trouble, trying to take one of our points.
Dealing with the trench here.
Where do you want us? Ready for
Sector move out there, 17 kills, veteran to 1, which of course unlocks creating power. The question, of course, will he actually make use of it? And artillery here trying to silence the Pack 40. Not bad, not bad. Valentine moving ahead here. But there's another Pack 40. And the Valentine was not that thickly armoured. In the beginning of the war, it was an infantry tank that was quite heavily armoured, but 1944-45, not quite. The Russians did actually quite like the Valentine, from what I believe, on the Eastern Front. Churchill firing at the King Tiger. Luke's Panther breaking through eventually to anti-tank and fill up. Both of us knocked out. And we got 8 AVRE from Devilsbrigade. I'm not quite sure what we get this here. Say at this point the armor's the bigger threat, and either another Firefly or a Comet would serve better here than an AVRE. So I'm curious as to what Devilsbrigade's thinking is there. I'm not entirely sure that's going to be the wisest of choices. Got another Stug here for Morserkarl. He keeps the Sturmgeschütz. And Sabze getting beaten into the ground. So British holding to a nice chunk of the map. They also got a victory point advantage, but the Germans are slowly building up here in that sense. We also seeing a slight problem with the British to some extent. They're a bit too defensive. They're not sort of trying to build defences ahead. They just sort of pull back to certain lines, getting up nice chunks of the map. And it also tends to be a bit lopsided. You know, one side will be heavily defended and the other won't. Which only makes it easier for the Germans to sort of break through and take map control away from the British that way. That combined with the British seemingly not flanking is also working out here with the King Tiger and whatnot, perhaps. Though of course we'll have to see how this proceeds. There you go, Firefly getting a good hit with a 17-pounder gun. He didn't really mention much. I hope he wasn't trying to kill that King Tiger and at least hit it. The Avery really just striking this odd choice there for Devilsbrigade. Not entirely sure what he's hoping to achieve with it. This time around the rockets failed to connect. No further check up there. Looks being repaired. Schwerergustav floating quite a bit of resources. More infantry would be good, some more storm pioneers I think actually would help repair the tanks, particularly the King Tiger. That would be some very good choices there. Otherwise I suppose we could try and, you know, I don't know, tank up again, go for some more armour, Panzer 4 maybe to support it all. So much armour now being concentrated on the right flank. So much heavy armour, Churchills and such. And artillery raining down as well. Gertzenkirchen is slowly getting torn apart here. Whoever wins this won't get much use out of it. There you go, we got Panzer Volkskas moving up. Command tank doing counter cover against him. At the same time we got more action on the west flank again, taking advantage of this extreme focus of the British here, which again is lacking a bit of momentum with it. There's an aggression. Overall, I'm going to just push through in the west and take that away. So very nicely done there, very nicely done there. Though of course a bit risky if the British sort of pull up with an assault. They could cause the complete destruction of Schwerergustav. So it's not without its risks. It is not without its risks. But so far, it does seem to be working, considering the way the British are playing a bit. I mean, again, they could push aggressively through the west as well, or Morserkarl and crush them, or through the centre, get behind the Germans here. There's a lot of damage that way. I mean, except they're sort of just too focused, just, you know, straight on, head on, and getting shot a bit up. Halfway to veterancy 3 there. Been some times I've seen a command and haven't been any kind of veterancy. Another strike here from the Luftwaffe. 17-pounder gun up here. In a more static position. It was a very big anti-tank gun and basically quite some tracks of the lax activity about. Infantry force away there. Flak Panzer leads the way, though heavy engine damage, not too good. And a machine gun in it, since with the garrison bonus it gets a high rate of fire, rotation rate, plus gets the ability to fire a flare, the base little spot ahead. Very nicely done there. Fire flowing in against the flak Panzer, Panzer gun is with Panzer here. We got gammon bombs, doing quite a bit of damage, stunning the Panzer and knocking out fully there. We got some good rockets there against the fly, forcing it back. Valentine rolling ahead, and we also got here the ability to contract section barrage. Nope, far away. It costs very little, and even more section. You could debate sort of ordering the mortar to sort of fire a massive barrage. Regular Panther on the way here for Morserkarl. Artillery, though, murders the Pack 40 airburst shells, just shatters them. And further fighting in the west, though. Collapse of the British. Half track moving up. They should have landed to grab the MD-42. Very good there, very good with the half track. Bit of forgotten tool there in the German arsenal at times. Burmie's infantry not looking too good. He's interesting enough not really upgrading all of his munitions, basically going towards as much artillery as he can sort of throw at the Huns.
Where do you want us?
And a Jagdpanzer of all things. Well, with a King Tiger and a Panther and a Lux, I suppose a Jagdpanzer could prove a bit helpful in this situation.
King Tiger, get ready. Mission ready for orders. Get ready, you lot. Engineers finished, repair complete.
Plus Stugs, Panther 4s and command tanks, so 12th SS building up for an armoured punch here. Firefly hanging about. Lieutenant Pym surveying the area from his Firefly, hoping no sniper spots him. ODA Pack 40 running straight into an infantry section, taking a 5 gun pan forming up, but taking hits here from the Firefly. And a push up here looks. King Tiger, Command Panther, Panther 4 and the Lux, and we got the Jagdpanzer here arriving as well. Or as it was technically known, actually the Panther 470, the Jagdpanzer 4 was only the one without the 70mm gun, or high velocity gun more specifically. Also there was also an Alkit variant, by the way, which looked not quite as nice. It was basically used as a replacement tank since it didn't work much as the Jagdpanzer or the top gun. But King Tiger murdering away, 11 kills, veterans 1, closing in a half veterans 2, Command Panther supporting it, making the King Tiger certainly a lot more lethal. Jagdpanzer inbound, we got the Stuka hiding about here. No upgrades, so he should consider upgrading machine guns. It does help those infantry quite a bit. And Mortar just running down here, engagement getting absolutely shattered here. There you go. Churchill, no match for the Königstiger. Rolling forwards here, taking some hits though from PS and the Knights. And the 17-pounder gun here.
We have 300 points remaining.
Not enough resource though for the piercing shot. And there we go though. Got the looks here with the Firefly 17-pounder gun combo.
Firefly complete.
Command Panther, King Tiger rolling back, Jagdpanzer supporting. Action here, causing the Germans to fall back from the west. Victory point to look up. There you go, Panther Force pushing up through the centre. Nothing to hold them. They could in fact try and flank in against the British right here. That'd be very devastating. There you go, MD-42 under fire from the Panther 4. And there you go, ADRE responds, but right into the line of fire with the Sturmgeschütz. And another Firefly, now from Burmie. Still no further comments there from Devilsbrigade. He's got the resources for it. I really think he should consider some more comments. Stug almost got knocked here by the ADRE Spigot Mortar. And there we go, Firefly on the hunt here for some Huns. Or at least until the smoke appeared, causing it to fall back. Still got a good hit there. Jagdpanzer getting off a few shots, using a artillery flare to sort of spot ahead, then falling back. and Orbital Dart and Assault there stopped. He's getting more infantry guns. It's rather rare to see any sort of Orbital Commandos player sort of, you know, actually interested in getting more than one gun, or even one gun at all. So not interesting. Half track there, boy, could be upgraded to a flamethrower half track. I think that could help out versus the infantry a bit. But again, no, the West is very open here. One good push from the Germans, and again, then sort of taking the road here to try and get behind the British. Could work out all. They attack through the British rack, and then they attack from here, basically catching their pincer move, and either side's going to catch a British armour from an angle they weren't expecting it. I mean, generally, as a rule of thumb, you always want to try and flank your opponent. You don't want to engage them head on, you want to flank them, getting some good shots there and knock them out. And I do believe Devilsbrigade here is getting another Comet tank. Dear, this could actually become a quite severe armoured engagement. Jagdpanzer, by the way, is going to need some repairs as well. But Fireflies, Churchills, artillery pieces. This could be quite cataclysmic. There we go. The assault has commenced. Lots of infantry. Aviary flanking in. Bit of shooting there. Veteran T2 on the King Tiger. Veteran T2. Faster turret rotation and increased accuracy on gun and machine guns. Aviary missed. Taking heavy damage there. Fireflies supporting here, but interesting out front. There we go. Actually, both Fireflies are. Comet is still back at base there. Too much going on. Panther veteran fleet, but low on health here. Lots of damage there. Jagdpanzer still supporting. We got artillery fire going on the tanks. We'll hope to stun them, blind them. And the Firefly got abandoned. Recruit, but the main gun isn't operating. Tanks being hit. Sturmgeschütz being in. Firefly knocked out.
Emplacement under attack.
And while the Fireflies do pack a punch, and certainly are tougher than, say, you know, the N10 or the Jackson, they're still not that tough. Damage engine in the Stu. Churchill close to getting knocked out here, but there we go. Firefly forces it back. Stu could be knocked out. And we got the Comet here. Comet is on the spot. 17-pound Delta doing a bit of work here, but taking fire from the German artillery. The remains of it. Oh, he's actually a full port cap, so he can't get the second one. And there you go, Sturmgeschütz kaput, knocked out here. Firefly rolls through the smoke, through the wreckage, corpses and bricks littering the field. Another push here towards the centre. Basically seems like Schwerergustav sort of doing most of the work here. Sensi is the shield. Morserkarl is the sword sort of hitting sort of more weaker spots, slipping through the armour and delivering critical damage. In that sense, the King Tiger is certainly working out quite nice as sort of a very potent shield. But he's also supporting Schwerergustav with his own armour, ensuring that he don't quite get easily overwhelmed. So sort of interesting combo there of Command Panther and Command Panther 4. More artillery raining down.
Armor ready to move.
Looks like he's pushing towards the centre here. Comet and Aviary supporting. A bit of infantry here. Panther is in trouble. Again! It really has been quite common here. More than usual. I haven't heard that bug in quite some time, but with the British live trial, that is, well, the third time in a match. That's a record. Of the more shocking kind. There we go, the Aviary moving in. German lines in the centre, simply too weak. Got Panzer Weapon, it's actually tagged up here. He's going for the heavy Panzer Corps now. Intriguing. Another push here, encountering the Veteran T3 Vickers. That is not working out too well there. We got a Panther shooting in, hammering away at the British. And Schwerergustav is getting ready for another push here. Perhaps humming the Panzer lead to himself as he moves forwards here. Achtung Panzermarsch. Jagdpanzer, Command Panther, and a King Tiger. And he certainly is sticking to Guderian's maxim. You strike with a fist, not an open hand, and just concentrates his armour. Panther on the way into the centre. Light action in the west. We've got the Comet over here. Forcing away the Huns. causing them to scatter in terror. And go now the ranking to the Panzer IV. Oh dear, this could actually be working out for the Germans. They're moving towards the centre, the Axis spreading out here. If the Germans were to strike now, they could do a lot of damage. We've got another Firefly though on the way for Devilsbrigade. Another Firefly. Oh no, a Comet though. Interesting, but they're going ahead, taking it to attack 40. And the Panzer IV. Luftwaffe strike goes in as well. Panzer IV knocked out. Oh, really exposed. Luftwaffe though hits most of the building. Panzer IV command tank groups, there we go at the same time. So all of this is happening. The Germans under Schwerergustav strikes in here. Anti-tank gun, the 17-pounder was exposed. Nothing to screen it, nothing to cover it. Command tank going straight at the Comets, despite being quite undergunned and under armoured in comparison. Wow, that's the fourth. That's insane. Pack 40 there firing away. Almost got the Firefly there. Veterans E2, Veterans E2. Aviary knocks out the Pack 40. Firefly. Oh, it's an absolutely armoured apocalypse. One of the biggest armoured battles I've seen in some time. Absolutely crazy here. Sector knocked out, and now Schwerergustav is actually flanking the British. I'm not entirely sure if he's actually doing this on purpose or not, but he's doing it. Strafing run there, hitting the Churchill. Veterans fleet though. Veterans fleet, but we got the King Tiger and a Command Panther behind them. Should try and follow up. There were some further hits there. British forces are collapsing. Comet though is standing alongside the Firefly for the time being. But Schwerergustav is delivering the pressure here. Units getting absolutely annihilated by the Panzerwerfer. And King Tiger's out getting close to Veterans 3. Veterans 3 on a King Tiger. Almost Veterans 4 on the Panther. My God. Yak Panzer, King Tiger, Command Panther moving ahead. The engagement between the Firefly and the Yak Panzer falling back. Got two flares there. He's actually having to sort of lure them in, use the flares to the spot ahead. And there we go. King Tiger flanks the Comet. The two positioning, here we go. We got the A-Body moving straight to the Veterans 4 Command Panther now. He's trying to use the Spigot to knock out the King Tiger. But he's taking too much damage. Crazy stuff here. Veterans 3 Churchill moves in. And we got another Firefly. Veterans 3 King Tiger. Veterans 4 Command Tank. Halfway to Veterans 3 Yak Panzer. Churchill knocked out. Firefly straight to the Panzer Rex. He's gone too close there. He's gone too close, and there we go. Knocked out in seconds afterwards as the Germans set their guns. King Tiger halfway towards Veterans 4. There's only a Comet aviary left here. The rest is operational, but the question is, can it take it all in the current state? King Tiger's already making its way back here. And now it's Morserkarl's time to strike. Having let Schwerergustav do all the hard work, he's following up here to clear up the rest. The leftovers, basically. There we go, he's blitzing in essentially, trying to get past here, but already he hits the Command Panther, speed slows down. Exposes the rear to the Command Panther and the other Panther, plus the Panzer Rex. There we go, main gun destroyed, Veterans 2. How's he going to get out of this? Panthers are rolling ahead at full speed. And there we go, re-exposed, main gun destroyed, no chance of survival. And the Command Panthers opening up, they're close to Veterans 5. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen, game over, an absolutely epic 2 versus 2. Maximum carnage, lots of armour knocked out, lots of artillery, lots of explosions, lots of death. Good lord. I mean, a rather brutal battle. You saw here ultimately though the German had, I think, a slightly better strategy in mind. Tactically they might also have done some better things, but basically the British sort of kept, just pouring too many resources into one spot. The problem is the map's too big for that. You can't just dominate for a single spot. And the Germans basically outplayed them through that slowly but surely. Then they sort of built up armour, and then of course came this armour engagement. Basically the British were spread out thinly. The Germans sort of struck, hammering them completely while they were off guard. I mean, really nicely done there, though perhaps a bit accidentally there by the Germans. Either way though, it worked. It wasn't just, of course, they had a lot of big guns. It was also the way the British themselves had set themselves up and they were caught off guard. I mean, really, again, flanking armour can do so much more for you. And there's also the shock effect, and clearly the British was just sort of not entirely sure how to do it. So there you go. Absolutely brutal armoured fight. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you learned something from it. I hope it gave you different matches. I hope it gave you some taste for the British forces. If you did, why not subscribe to my channel? But of course, also purchase the British forces. And if you enjoyed, of course, if you subscribe, tell your friends, share it with everyone. If not, send me perhaps some feedback in the comments section. Of course, spread the word to as many people as you can of the mighty Propagandacast. This is Imperial Dane. Thank you all for watching, and I'm hoping to see you all tomorrow. Bye.